Okay, give me a minute.
Mhm.
Is it live already? Yay, it's live. Okay, hold on, let's double check. Hello parents, hi, this is Coach John from Learning Out of the Box, and 恭喜发财, Happy New Year. Hope that you had a splendid week. Yeah, so today I have the honor of having a DSA interview coach, and her name is Siew Ling. Hello, Siew Ling.
Hi, John. How are you?
Thanks for being here. I really appreciate your presence.
No
Yeah,
problems, John.
yeah. And I know that because I'm talking to a DSA interview coach, yeah, my Angmo not very good. So you will realize that actually when I start to be very conscious of how I talk. Or I let you talk lah, then I go off first. Okay. Okay, yeah, okay. I think that the parents may not know you very well. So could you share with us like your backstory, how you pivoted to become an interview coach for DSA? Because I know that I read your credentials, very something that I would love to have them. I mean, it's like the the cream of the top, is it? Is that how I phrase it? So yeah, I'm not very good yeah. So share with us your story, yeah.
Okay, all right. So first of all, thank you. I'm Siew Ling. I actually run a company called Discovering Potential. So one of the things that I do is interview coaching. I also do communication skills coaching. And John, you're absolutely right. I actually started out as an interview coach, mostly for executives who are getting coached for job interviews. So what happened really is I was actually invited by a school to train their scholars. And this opportunity that I got was I would say it was a very fun one for me. I definitely hope it was a fun one for the students. But I think when I walked away from the session, I realized how good it felt to really be able to help students at such an early stage of their journey. It is satisfying to help adults, but I think John, you would know as well that there is to me also, there's a different level of satisfaction when it comes to helping children. To be able to help them have a positive experience in an interview is a really nice feeling. So that's how I started to actually coach students. So I actually now coach students from as young as, of course, P5, P6 for the DSA interview. I also coach students who are aiming for, let's say, DSA for JCs, EAE interviews, as well as university entrance interviews.
Oh wow, you have done so much things, and I think at the end of the day is to really boost up the confidence of the adults and the kids to be able to speak up and express their views. Yeah, so I would love to hear how can we actually help a child to boost up the confidence. And before you share on that, and I want to share the parents. Hi parents, if any questions, you can actually post your questions in the comments box below in the Learning Out of the Page group. And again, this session, probably I'm doing it for only one time. So if you have any question, please ask, yeah? And if you know of any friends who can benefit from this, because I think nowadays, many kids are going to Set 1 through DSA routes, please share the video with them because this is free, and we hope that you reach out to as many people as possible. Especially Siew is going to share with us a lot of tips and tricks on how you can help your child if your child is going to sit for a DSA interview. Okay, back to you, Siew Ling.
Okay, so I guess one of the key challenges that children face would be confidence. I think this is no different to adults as well. You ask any adult going for an interview, they will also share with you that they are anxious, they are nervous, palm sweating and everything. So when a child is at 11 or 12 years old, and they are going for their very first interview, clearly they have I guess challenges to deal with, when they are facing probably most likely their first interview of their lives. So I guess what do we do about this? How do we help the child kind of gain confidence? I think firstly, the main thing is that you need to recognize that they are dealing with a very unknown situation. And for anybody, dealing with something that you don't know anything about is quite a challenge. So I guess one of the ways that we could help to prep them would be to give them an idea of what to expect. For example, you're going to be talking to maybe like 2 or 3 people from the school, and they're going to be asking you some questions and you will need to answer them. I think also what really helps them would be to have some degree of knowledge about the question type, maybe also the technique to actually answer such questions. And I would have to say that the third challenge for them, which also adds on to their confidence, is about dealing with their expectations on them, or what the child feels the expectations are. This I feel has got quite a great impact on them, and this is something that I think parents can all help their own child as well. It needs to be very clear, I feel, to the child, what is the objective for them to actually go for the DSA interview. And I think that is quite important. I'm a parent myself, so I know that sometimes, it might be messages lost in translation, or maybe we just didn't quite say it out directly to them, or we assume that they understood. But I think it's very important that children going for such I would say that it's a fairly high pressure environment. Children understand that this is not a sprint. They are not defined by this particular sort of like interview process, but instead it is a positive experience that will help them greatly in the future, in the long run. So I would say those would be the key things, I think, to help them with building their confidence level.
When you say expectations, could you share with us like some of the unhealthy expectations versus those that can actually help the child to do well in an interview?
Okay, so the children who tend to be more calm and who are sort of very positive about it understand very clearly that it is the interview process is sort of like an opportunity for them. For them to try out an interview, knowing that even if they fail, even if they don't get the DSA spot, they are happy to have experienced that kind of situation. And they also tend to know that, okay, this is just an alternative route. It's not a do or die kind of situation. And whatever I've learned with regards to interview skills, I still carry it with me for the rest of my journey. But I think some children feel very nervous because they feel that this is a very important kind of option that they must succeed in. Perhaps it could be for various reasons, but once they carry that weight on their shoulder, they start to be more nervous than usual. And I think for any person, it's hard to already deal with your own nerves, your own anxieties, and then carry more weight on your shoulders as well. So I would say that it does impact the confidence level quite significantly.
Awesome. Well, this is one of the more popular Facebook lives. You already have 10 live audience. Wow, everyone wants to know about DSA. Okay, parents, if you are there, got questions, please post in the Facebook page. Because once this is done, you may not have opportunity to ask Siew Ling, yeah, except to join her program, which later I'll share more if you are keen. Okay. Okay. I also want to ask, because when I was younger, you can see that I am an introvert, so I tend to have experienced high stress, even though it's normal oral. Yeah. And I told my mom about it, and my mom said that I Yeah, don't think about it lah. Don't think about it lah. Yeah, is this advice helpful? Don't think about it.
I'm sure your mom had her reasons. She knew you best. But I guess I would just like to share that not every successful candidate is outspoken. We actually have some very successful candidates who have gone and gotten a spot through DSA, which probably means that they did well in the interview, who are very soft-spoken, introverted individuals. All right. It's just that I feel that there would be two things that are necessary in order to encourage them to not be soft-spoken. Number one, to me, is about understanding their personality. Some people just have a higher tendency to, to maybe speak softly, to not necessarily be, outwardly, extroverted. They may not sort of like feel the need to say much more than necessary. The other thing is, with the experience, I have also come to realize that being soft-spoken and introverted, it's usually not, I would say, it's not across the board. It really depends on the topic at hand. Many children actually are mostly quiet when it comes to talking about themselves. But if they are talking about a favorite topic of theirs, a game they like, a toy that they like, you can actually tell that all of a sudden they are able to talk nonstop, maybe even louder than usual. So what I'm trying to actually say is that most of the time, if you understand the child, and I feel it's actually a very important part of it, you need to understand them, you need to actually empathize with them, step into their shoes, and also figure out where they are more likely to be introverted. What kind of topics they're not so comfortable with. That's where we work on those kind of topics, and we teach them how to adapt, and feel more confident with regards to that particular topic. Having said that, I would say that many children and adults, the topic that they're most quiet and most introverted about is themselves. Whenever you ask the question about yourself, that's when the question is the hardest, and that's where you feel that so and so doesn't seem to talk very much. Unfortunately, the interview is very much about who you are, so many questions are directed at you, which means you have to actually speak up about talking about yourself. So some amount of coaching is required, but what I can say is that being shy and being introverted or being quiet does not necessarily mean that you do not perform well in an interview.
I can relate to your experience because when I was younger, sometimes I sat at a dining table with all my relatives and my cousins, and I being a very shy guy, prefer to just climb out and just eat my food. But sometimes my uncles or even my dad ask me something and they say, speak up. And then I think the more they ask me to speak up, the more scared I feel. Yeah, and I think I can really feel the chill runs down my spine when you say about, got to speak up more about ourselves during the interview, right? Yeah, I can imagine myself as a primary 6 child in front of 3 adults or even 4. Not sure if the mask is on, whether they are frowning or their eyebrow is like glaring at you. Yeah. So as a parent, how can we help our child to pivot comfortably from being a shy introvert? Because my children are actually very shy and introvert. How can we actually help them to pivot to being able to comfortably and confidently speak out about themselves in front of 3 adults that they feel that they are judging them?
Right. I think one of the things you could do at home is to be able to be quite, I guess, sensitive and pick up on the key moments where you observed your child talking with very little shyness, there's usually something. A lot of parents say, no, my child is very quiet. They never say anything at all. But usually every child has got that moment where they are able to speak up and they are excited about it. For example, I have one student who is very quiet, who he actually hardly says much when I first met him. Everything was a yes, no kind of answer. And so I was like, okay, let's just keep on going. And I was like, sort of like just talking to him, asking him what he enjoys, trying to figure out where his sort of like his excitement will build up. And finally, we hit upon the topic of photography. And this was a passion of his. It was nowhere in the CV, to be honest, nowhere in his resume, nothing. And once we hit on it, he started to get excited and started to verbalize his thoughts, his feelings, why he loves photography. The passion was very clear. So once we hit that point, I then asked him, how did you feel when you were talking about it? And he said, oh, it feels good. It's something I love. And I said, okay. So now we need to reframe and project that feeling onto other types of questions. Because what you have just showed me, and it's also about showing them, is evidence, right? What you've just showed me is that you're definitely capable of speaking up. It's just that right now you have selected the topic of choice. Okay, so you have to kind of work slowly on them and encourage them to extend that ability to communicate to other topics. And then the more familiar and the more times they actually do it, they're actually going to get more and more comfortable with speaking about all sorts of things.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, parents, I'm not sure about you, but when I hear Siew Ling talk, right, I think she's very reassuring. And now I know why the students thrive under her care as well. I mean, if I'm the kid, I will feel very reassured and encouraged to move on from single word answer to and say more words lah. Yeah. So at home, I think a lot of times even when I was younger, sometimes our parents ask us questions, and even with the best intention, sometimes they end up with close-ended questions rather than open-ended. Yeah. So I think because we train educators and also professionals in some ways, we know that there's open-ended and close-ended. What are some of the open-ended questions that parents can ask their kids at home, and it's something to move away from academic? You know what I mean, right?
Yes, I do know what you mean. To encourage
That's why we
them to
laugh.
talk more, is it?
Yeah, because move
To
away
actually
academic.
have-
If not, parents will ask you.
Yeah.
They will ask, so how is your schoolwork? Huh? Talk about that one. No. Must move away academic. Then your child will speak up. Okay, let's go back to expert Siew Ling. Let's hear from you.
Okay, so from the parental point of view, I think we also have to be quite practical about it, right? Because most of the time when they come home, you also want to know what did they do in school that day, right?
Me.
Yeah. So I don't know about you, but if you ask a question like, how was school? And then the answer may be, okay.
Like that, lor.
Yeah, like that, lor. There's nothing much that really goes beyond that, right? But I think what really helps is to kind of figure out extra details so that you are putting yourself, in their shoes. Something like, let's say, if you know that they have a few friends, and let's say their friends are just for instance, A friend and B friend. You can encourage them by basically saying, oh, what did let's say you talk about with A friend and B friend today? Did you have your recess together, or how are they doing? Children tend to, and to be honest, adults as well, tend to speak very easily about other people,
Mm.
not so much about themselves. So start out with asking how did your day go? How did friend A and friend B, how are they doing? And then from there you'll be able to take that story and to build upon it. And did you enjoy yourself? What was your favorite moment of the day? So you're kind of also trying to showcase and indicate to them that you are not asking from a parent position or a third party position. You know enough about them such that you are asking a question that makes sense to them, rather than it feeling as if it's an interrogation.
So if the child like just say like that long, what can a parent do? Because I think sometimes as a parents, because if you are not trained in getting the child to speak up in a non-judgmental environment, versus sometimes because we parents are tired as well. Sometimes we just want to strike a conversation, and our primary 5 and 6 kids are like teenagers. Yeah. So what can we continue to ask just to get the child to continue to talk rather than we talk more?
Yeah. Well, we could kind of ask them, like, oh, what was the favorite part of your day?
Okay, what was your favorite part of the
your
day? Parents, jot down. All this may not be asked in the PSLE DSA in interview, but I
No,
think we and Siew
unfortunately, it's
Ling,
not us in
yeah,
DSA, but
yeah. But I think just for parents to have the right context, why Siew Ling and I are doing this is because a lot of times, in my opinion, the training actually starts at home. Then when you pass to Siew Ling, then she can mold your child. Yeah. If at home you don't mold, then you pass to Siew Ling to mold as much. Even though I know that she's the best in her niche. Yeah. But I think as parents, you still have to put in effort to start to build up the confidence in your kid. Am I right, Siew Ling? Again,
yes,
I'm not sure.
yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah.
So talking to them, encouraging them to actually voice their opinion is very helpful if you can do it at home. So if they are on a yes, no type of answer, try and kind of get to their high points, right? What was the favorite part of your day? Even if they say recess or PE or, one of the non-academic things, which is very normal. What I suggest you do is to literally be encouraging about it. It's like, oh, your favorite part was recess. Tell me more about it. What did you actually do during recess that made it really fun? What did you buy to eat today? Now, even a simple thing like being able to tell you a description of what they ate that day is actually really helpful in building communication skills. If they say today, I went to try a new dish. It was from the Western Delight store, and I had chicken cutlet and rice or something. And you ask them, oh, okay, tell me how the dish tasted. What did you like about it? Would you buy it again? All these kind of prompts actually helps the child build up the ability to provide a stance, an ability to provide an opinion about something, and to actually describe something in a very positive manner. All that will accumulate one day and build up their communication skills.
So it sounds like the key thing about conversation with our kids is to hear what they have to say.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
That's right.
And parents, also my personal advice is again sometimes sometimes I also make this mistake at home, talking to clients, talking to other parents, and when we want to sit down with the kids, our mobile phone is next to us at the lunch, maybe at the dining table, and sometimes I just find that while I'm trying to listen to my kid, but my eyes are actually looking at the mobile phone, and this sends a message indirectly to the kid that, hey, I'm not interested in what you have to say. So something that I am trying to work on as well, and you may want to take note of that at home too. Yeah. Okay, so I think one of the myth that some parents told me that actually DSA interview yeah, just wait until 1 month before that and then just drill your kid lah, can already. Is it true?
I would actually say it's not true.
Not true, parents, not true.
I think drilling your kid may be sort of successful on the short term. Maybe it works for some children. I won't say it's a definite no. But I think to me, what is very important is that the interview is not a short-term type of rush for the finishing line. I think we need to remember that the outcome of the interview, meaning the experience of the interview itself and the skills that they learn to tackle the interview, is very, very valuable beyond the DSA. Because ultimately, if we look at their careers in totality, you will kind of realize that actually there are so many more important interviews that they are going to face one day. Right? In fact, every single interview that they take from this point on becomes more and more, you could say, critical as time goes by. So I think we want to make sure that as parent and as coach as well, that the experience is a positive one and not one where they remember that, oh, for the last 4 weeks, my mother sat me down at the dining table and, like keep on drilling me and asking me the same questions again and again, and I have to provide the answers again and again. I think to me, let that not be their concept of going for an interview, because I think in the bigger picture, we really want the children to, I guess, build up confidence, build up the skill, have an innate ability to literally deal with talking to strangers, be able to talk about, any sort of topic, and to one day arrive at that point where they are going for a university entrance interview or a job interview and they feel like, I got this.
I have also heard from some students who went through the DSA in interviews and how their parents actually train them is, nowadays there are some parents they are very they love to share so they get the kids to type out the questions that they ask they will ask in forum in Facebook groups so the parents will copy them, and then some parents actually will craft out the answers for the kids to memorize. What's your take on that? And again, before that, let me just do a shout out to the parents. The parents, if any questions, please ask now, because sometimes we may be going to a different angle and then it may not address what you want to ask. Again, please do not ask what questions that will come out, because I think every year change, and again, something that's out of our control. So let's look at what we can control is how can we actually train your kids right now and equip them with the right tools and the confidence to be ready for whatever kind of questions that they're being asked. I think this is actually a more effective way. So focus on the how and not the what. Want to know the what? Send your kids to Siew Ling, okay? Okay, so back to you. Just on what they asked, the memorizing one, right? What's your take on that?
Right. So some people feel that memorizing is the method. The reason why people tend to think that works is because, of course, if you are memorizing something, it will feel as if you are regurgitating that answer with very little pauses, very little ahs, what we call the filler words. So when you listen to the answer, oh, it sounds perfect, right? However, this is what happens when someone memorizes, which is if you actually watch their facial expression, you can actually tell if the person has memorized something.
Okay? Really? How will they look like?
The eyes will start to move. Okay, so when you're trying to retrieve a memory from your brain, we all have a tendency to move your eyes. So you will end up looking either up or down. Different people have a different, yes, without even thinking about it, they will start to move their eyes. And very importantly, what happens is they will lose eye contact.
Eye contact is a key here.
Eye contact is key.
Engagement.
Okay? Now,
Yeah.
so that's one issue with memorizing, which is that you are actually socially removed from who you're talking to because you're very busy remembering what you read or saw on that piece of paper that your parent might have like written for you, right? So a lot of your energy, right? You're literally channeling all your energy into remembering those words that you remember, or it looked like that. So what has happened is that you are no longer channeling your energy towards talking to the other person. So that is one problem. The other problem is this. It's when you meet a stranger, which is effectively what an interview is, you are really talking about building trust. Because without trust, you don't actually believe the other person, no matter how wonderful their story is, right? So the thing about a memorized script is not only that you didn't focus on building trust because you didn't have the rapport over there. The other problem is if I feel that, you are just saying a line from maybe you downloaded off Google and it doesn't sound like it's coming from you, the question would be, do I believe that that is the real you? Okay, so sometimes, it might seem as if when the child is answering from a very sincere point of view that there's a little bit of, a bit of pausing, and that's very normal. That is just being natural about it. But there is a humongous value to someone who is able to communicate with sincerity, because you make the other person feel, the listener, the interviewer, feel that whatever you're saying is truly coming from you. And therefore, this is a student that I really want to join my school, not someone who is very good at saying someone else's lines.
So it sounds like besides working on what to say, it's also important to work on how the child's sharing make the panel feel, because
yes,
parents just imagine 3 teachers or 2. I'm not very sure because I haven't been through one, but probably 2. Is it 2 or 3?
It can be 2 or 3 depending on the school.
Or 10 people sitting there.
No, not reaching 10 yet.
It's so scary, yeah.
Usually 2 or 3.
Okay, so 2 or 3, and probably they have seen quite a fair bit of kids going in and out, asking the same questions, probably tweaking a bit here and there, maybe hearing almost similar responses. Yeah. So what is something that your child say that makes an impact? And a lot of times, I think also from the body language perspective, sometimes the panel can sense how confident your child is, not from what he said, but how he looks, or or when he said, how expressive he is. Yeah. So again, I got one question. Let's say I'm sitting there as a kid, got 3 people. Who should I see? Or I should find the center point, sorry, the midpoint. Yeah. So that the 3 of them it thought that I'm looking at all of them. So where should I look like?
All right. So usually I would suggest that you firstly focus on the person who gave you the question. Okay, so whoever who voiced that question to you is the main person that you actually look at, because you are pretty much trying to answer that his or her question. However, because there are, let's say, 2 other individuals around this so-called main person, you do actually need to also make eye contact with them once in a while to make them feel included into your answer.
What if one is like, like good cop, bad cop? One is very friendly, then one got a black face. I also scared. Then sometimes I may tell myself, hey, I don't want to see him in case I lost my confidence. So how like that, how then got one fierce face, got one like got bad day face, then one is good face, then how?
Yeah, so I think this one also comes with a bit of practice, a bit of confidence. I also encourage children not to get affected by any form of responses from the other side, whether it's facial expression, whether it's what they said. You can't actually think about it at that point in time. So I always tell them, do not self-analyze your so-called performance during the interview itself. So, what I mean is, when you finish an answer, don't sit there and think, oh, did I say the right thing? Was that okay? Why is the guy staring at me? Or why is his eyebrows raised? Does it mean anything? We don't, one of the things that I like to, coach and remind the children is this: the time for self-analysis is not during the interview. We take it one step at a time, one question at a time. Focus on one question. You do what you can with it. Once you're done, refocus, recharge yourself, get ready for the next question, and again, do your best one more time. Each time the question refreshes, you refresh as well, and you take it one step at a time. If you really need to review your performance, do it outside of the interview room or when you're fully done. Then you can think about it. Why I say this, it is not going to be very productive if you keep on reviewing your own performance during the interview. You really need to put all your energy into focusing on the current situation, the current question, and to spend your energy in better ways. How should I answer this in a better way? What kind of angle should I use? What story can I share? Rather than thinking, oh no, I didn't do so well in the question before. And this clearly affects your confidence. The other thing also that I always remind the students is this. Now, you may feel that perhaps you didn't answer one question very well. However, there's nothing stopping you from making sure you answer the subsequent questions well, which may then create a different impression to the interviewer. And they may actually forget that, oh, there was that particular question that, oh, she or he didn't, talk about so well. So don't sort of like smack yourself halfway, during the interview. Always just sort of look forward, try your very best for the next question.
Yeah, and I think as you're showing that, two things came to my mind. Sometimes even as a presenter, when we thought that we are doing well, but sometimes we see this lady in front, probably she had a bad day or she's thinking of something else, then she frown, then it just affect our state. Yeah,
Yes.
our state.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I like the part that you say that always look forward, because I think that one example that I can think of is sometimes we go to a party, we meet people or business networking events. Sometimes when we thought that this person, we size people up, right? When we see the person, we size it up based on what we had in the past. But sometimes because of something that we said or he said that connected, probably because of like maybe same school, same favorite food, maybe same CCAs, then we hit off very well, and then the day end off very well, and even sometimes we keep on talking even after the event has ended. So I think children always look forward, and our parents encouraged to ask the children what happened in the interview after they have picked their children up straight after the interview.
Sorry, what was that again?
Oh, like let's say imagine my kid is going for the DSA interview, then I'll send her there lah. Then I'll wait for her. Then she comes out, right? I think I can't help it lah. But to ask her how was it? Yeah. So what will be a better approach?
Okay, I think it's quite difficult to control that question. I got to say, right? I'm guessing the first question was how was it? Did you manage? Okay, I think how was it is it's a pretty okay answer. It's a very open-ended answer. It's just to encourage them to share their experience with you. What I would, I guess, suggest not doing is to say, did you manage to answer the questions well? that makes it into a sort of like a performance sort of like KPI kind of situation. Did you do well or did you not do well? Instead, I think just kind of like remember that it is the experience that you are encouraging. How did you feel? How did it go? That's totally okay. Do you want to share what questions they asked you? That's okay as well. It's really just about sharing your experience, but to kind of indicate whether, or to ask them, did you feel you got through it? Did you feel that you were the best? Unfortunately, I think we all have positive intentions. There's no parent here who has bad intentions in any form. It's just that in the excitement of it all, and maybe some anxiety on our part as well, we may sometimes accidentally kind of say it without thinking about the consequences. So as far as we can, try and always look at it from an experiential point of view rather than a result-oriented type of question.
Yeah, thanks for sharing so much. Okay, so one last question is about the timeline, because again, my kid is sitting for her PSLE this year, and I can really feel that. Well, I mean, I have been teaching physics kids like for the past like 10 years. But this is one of the most exciting year for me, because I don't just teach, my own kid is also sitting for it. Yeah. So again, what is the timeline like from now until the point whether for the parent to decide whether she should engage an interview coach for the child? So what would be your your advice on that, like how to gauge a timeline?
Right. Okay. I guess the interviews generally happen in July and August of every year. You will probably only know whether the child is selected for an interview sometime actually very close to the interview date itself. You may have maybe 2 weeks notice. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you may get 4 weeks notice. So that's about the kind of time frame you may have from the time you know about the interview to the actual date of the interview. However, I think if this is something that you are looking at from a gaining an experience and giving them a positive sort of exposure to the world of interviews, I would say that an early start to the whole sort of like coaching process is favorable. Also so that they don't feel as if it's like a last minute, like the whip is coming out and you're forcing them to, go through this process and to learn it and memorize it and, and all that. So I do have parents who start very early, and in many ways, I think this is quite positive because we can take our time and slowly build up their skill set. We are looking at, really being able to bring out the best in the child, giving them the confidence that whatever they, let's say their opinion, their ability to voice out their sort of like answers to these kind of questions, all this can be built up upon slowly and gradually. So as early as even now, some children have already sort of, I guess, started with me. And this would be I guess, more calm situation. Having said that, even if you came to me very close to the date of the interview, you can be assured that my main concern really is that the child is emotionally and mentally as prepared as they can in a, with as much self-confidence as we can manage.
Yeah, I think from what I get out of what you said is parents, I think we have to be fair to our kids as well, because at the end of the day, what we're looking at is working with your child's confidence, which is actually a type of emotion. Yeah, so it's something that it takes time as well. I mean, in the past, when I was younger, I was very shy, and I hate it when someone tell me to speak up. Yeah. The more they press, the more I just clamp up like a zip with a lock. Yeah. So parents, if you are very keen to get a DSA interview coach, make sure that you also discuss with your kids, because at the end of the day, I see as a journey traveled by you and your child, and it's a collaboration because your child also needs the confidence from you as well. Yeah. Okay. We have now it's 8:17. I think it would be nice to share a bit on your upcoming workshop. Yeah. Again, parents, this is not a sponsored workshop. And the reason why I look for Siew Ling is because, as you can see, she's a parent herself. She has her own kids and she works with children. And in my opinion, what she shared is very aligned with my parenting philosophy and how we teach kids. Emotion first and always looking at a bigger picture, building our skills and thriving beyond PSLE. The word is beyond, yeah? So if you want to look at the DSA interview coach, you can check out with her. Later, I'll give some time to share what you do. So just be prepared, okay? Yeah. Okay, so parents, see, I cannot do interview because I forgot what I want to say. Yeah. Okay, so parents, what I want to say here is, if you are aligned like me, I always make sure that my child learns a skill that helps her to thrive beyond school. Yeah. Then the reason is because in today's world, our children's world will be so much different from their world. Yeah. And I think there are some evergreen skills that our children still need, like negotiation skills, persuasion skills, as well as communication skills. Yeah. And how do we work with other people? Yeah. And these kind of skills are important for them to thrive beyond PSLE. So look beyond that. Okay. Okay. So now I'll share screen and just give me a minute. Okay. Then you can just briefly bring us through some of the things that the parents need to know and to consider if this coaching fits them. Okay. Okay. First of all, Siew Ling, can you tell the parents like how to navigate to this page?
Okay, I think this is the page of on the tab called Coaching Services.
This one, right?
Yep, that's
Okay.
right. And if you head down to Interview Skills Coaching, you would, I think, land up on the page that you're on right now.
Okay.
Okay. So yep. So you can see that this is what I call the one-on-one coaching program. So this is where I actually coach literally with just one person. So I do this for executives as well as graduates. And then if you scroll down some more, you'll be able to find the section where it is about students.
Oh, here lah. Okay.
Yep, that's right. So this is for students, it is usually a 2-hour session each time I see them. This is where I truly get to know each child individually. So I would ask for information about them before I actually meet them. Things like of course, their academic results, the CCAs, what are they interested in outside of school, even if it's not in the report card or anywhere, in their sort of school records. I want to know about them. Are they, let's say, engaged in maybe in any CC type activities, or some of them may have done some volunteer work outside of school, or maybe they are interested in things like drawing comics, all sorts of things. So just tell me all the information, and I would want to know all that before I meet them. And then we set up a session, and that's how we basically start out the coaching.
Okay. And for my own experience, I've taught many P6s before, and I think those P6s actually, those who thrive more, actually got their parents to be involved. Does it work the same way on your side as well?
Involved in what sense?
Involved in a sense, yeah. Because I think maybe involved in encouraging them, reassuring them, or how do you think the parents can be more involved when their children are going through your program, so that it's like a win-win for all? I mean, at the end of the day, we want the child to do well, right? Yeah. So how can we parents actually help our kids?
I think the involvement really is about positive support, and to really just let them know that we are in this sort of like together. We really want to just find a way to I guess get the skill of talking to someone else, whether it's an interview process or just for general communication skills. So just letting them know that we are on this journey together, and it is not a matter of, if you don't do well, I will be very upset. Okay, so it's in that sense, I think support from parents is definitely very important, because you're absolutely right. You mentioned this just now. At the end of the day, it's not just about the technical skill set of being able to speak well. A huge portion of it is about their emotional ability to be confident. And that is first and foremost, I think, one of the most important elements in doing well in an interview setting.
So if the parents want to contact you for whatever reason, how can they get in touch with you?
Okay, so there is right on this page, you can see there is a WhatsApp number over there, or there's an email address as well. So you can use either form to actually get in touch with me. And I think these details are repeated on the contact us page as well.
So they WhatsApp to you, and at this number they will get you.
Yep, that's right.
Yes,
And
this is how I got
address
in
as
touch
well.
with you.
Yes.
This is how I got in touch with you. Yeah, because actually when I texted you from this number, I was quite scared, because a lot of times the founders they have other colleagues to manage it. Yeah, so when they see asking for like sharing, they will just delete it or just open close, and that's it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we have come to the last part. Yeah, so could you share with us what would be the best takeaway for the parents with kids probably feeling anxious, or maybe they are very calm so what can parents do, like from what you have shared, the best takeaway for them?
I guess the best thing that you can do is really to frame the experience for your children in a positive manner. In many ways, I think, if I may share, I feel as if the interview is very much like a game, where, let's say you play, a bit old school, like Cluedo or Monopoly. In order to kind of do well in it, there is an element of fun. There is an of the game being fun, of wanting to to kind of like take the game and do well. You enjoy yourself, firstly. Secondly, you start to learn the rules of the game. No matter what game you play, there are certain rules. And then after you learn the rules, you figure out how to do well within that set of rules. So in many ways, an interview is very much like playing a game as well. So you firstly want to make sure that you are approaching the interview with a positive mindset. Secondly, you then figure out the rules of the game, which is, I guess, what is the format? What are the questions that are there? And then after you figure out the rules, you then want to take it to the next level, which is how do you then do well in that game? And that's where I guess good practice, good coaching will really come into play.
Yeah, strangely, as you're sharing, I was imagining a picture of a cake. Yeah, so I mean, we do have eaten birthday cakes, right? Actually, they're all the same all round or a tier. Yeah, but the artistic skills of the baker actually plays a big part in adding or infusing their creative touch. Yeah, and make it like a different kind of cake. Actually, their base is all the same.
Yep.
Yeah. So parents, we really need your help. As much as when you have a good coach like Siew Ling, we also need your help. Not just for the teachers, but also for the kids, for your kids, to really bring out the best in them. And a lot of times, we need to play the supportive role in getting the magic out of the kids, because sometimes they are so scared that you'll be judged. Yeah. Okay, Siew Ling, thanks so much for sharing. Is it okay? Can I ask you one question that I ask all our guests?
Sure.
Yeah.
What
it's
is
not
this
a
magic question?
no. It's not maths question. Maths question later I will send you. You will send to me before midnight. I must get correct.
Yes, sir.
No. Later you scold me. No. Okay. Can so I will ask. Okay. I think we are born in Singapore, so we receive the Singapore education, right? Yeah. So Primary 6 is a big deal for us. Yeah, or for our own parents, lah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So,
John,
imagine.
I hate to disappoint you. I didn't do the PSLE.
Oh.
Is that where your question was going to head towards?
Okay lah. Okay, never mind. I know how to tweak. I forgot you are elite. Okay. Later we'll talk about that. Okay. Heng, you tell me, then I can tweak. Okay. Never mind. We talk about 12-year-old. Okay. Okay. So being a 12-year-old, I think is a big deal for most of the Singapore kids who have received education in Singapore. Okay. So can I invite you to go back to your younger self? Yeah, I know that you are very young. So let's go back to your younger self. Yeah. So as you go back to the younger self, you saw the 12-year-old Siew Ling. Then she can see you, and then your eyes met, and then you got so close to her that you can almost touch her. What will you tell the 12-year-old Siew Ling? Anything, no wrong or right. What will you tell her?
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have said that you should be more brave.
Tell us more. Yeah, tell us more.
I think if I could go back in time, that means I meet my younger self, I say be more brave. I think when I was younger, I was a lot more careful, I think, with trying out new things. And anything that causes change in my life, I think I'm generally not very, I would say, happy about it, especially at that age. But you have probably read my profile. My career has really taken quite a journey. And in many ways, I only grew to take on, I guess, challenges very much later in life. And so now on retrospect, if I look back, it's because of the fact that I was willing to adapt and to accept change. That is why I feel as if, I have had the opportunity to do many things and to experience many things. So if I had perhaps been more brave at a younger age, and tried more things at a younger stage, maybe I may have also learned more than I have today.
Got it. So one sentence to sum up, what will you tell your 12-year-old?
Be brave.
Be brave. Okay. So parents, as you're bringing up your child, tell your child to be brave as well. And allow me to add that as parents, we can say that we are always there for them. Yeah, I think that's what parents, sometimes for children to thrive, it's not much about the content, but helping children to feel safe and be brave. Yeah. Okay, so Siew Ling, thanks so much for sharing. Don't go off first. I will stop the live. And parents, if you have anything to contact Siew Ling, again, we watch the video, share it on your wall. You can have this on your wall forever. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So bye.
Thank you.
Again, 恭喜发财 I hope it's not too late, right? It's not over, right? CNY is not over, right?
No, it's not over yet.
Till when?
I am not very sure.
Oh, never mind. Later we check.
Is that a trick question?
No. I also don't know. Never mind. Like my kids say, not sure. Ask Google.
Yes.
Ask Google. Okay. Let me just stop. Parents, good night. Bye bye. See you again.